So I wanted to know if a stripe on Ash's vest was curved or straight, and I went to the list of clothing in the anime page on Bulbapedia. Yeah, that yielded no answers, but I kept reading on. And this article is rather thorough in describing Ash's clothes, including his underwear. So I thought, hey, this could be a funny video. After all, comedic underwear exposure has been a thing for a long time in media. So let's get started on Ash's. Let's start with the original series. In the first episode, his underwear is actually a blink and you miss moment. Ash's mom hands him several things from his backpack, including his underwear, and it's rather explicit in the promotional material. But anyway, off to the most famous incident. Episode 22, Abra and the Psychic Showdown. So, long story short, Ash gets pantsed and humiliated by Sabrina's father after he gets thrown out of her gym. He's wearing white boxers. Well, I guess we'll never see him in his underwear. Yeah, we see him again in episode 65, Holiday Hijinks. After the water types get tired, Ash strips down and vows to swim to the North Pole himself. This episode, even by original series standards, was weird. I do give him credit. He did manage to swim a great distance before needing to be rescued by a Lapras. In terms of diversity in colors and patterns, solid blue, solid white, and blue and black stripes, I guess. I think this is actually the most diverse of all the series. So we do know he changes, or at least alternates patterns. Okay, so the advanced generation. The first time we see Ash's underwear is in Gone Coefficient, or episode 23 of the Hoenn Saga. Yeah, so after being dragged around, you can see the main quartet end up having to be stripped down after being covered in sand and water. Ash is wearing his blue and blue striped boxers right here. I'm cheating a bit with the next one because we see Ash's underwear in episode 70. Well, this doesn't look like an episode where you would see an underwear gag. That's because it's in the opening where we see him in his underwear. So he's bathing under a waterfall wearing only his underwear. The only reason why I know this exists is because it has an error page, and this image is specifically on the error page. So we continue the trend from Holiday Hijinks where Ash wears blue striped boxers. I guess the one on the right is shorter than the one on the left, so yes, Ash definitely changed his underwear this saga. Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, next. Black and White. We're introduced to Bianca in episode 13. Why is this relevant? Because she throws Ash and Silent into a local body of water. Ash strips down. Don't get used to seeing shirtless Silent. Ash will basically be the sole victim of her from here on out. For example, episode 37, he gets knocked into a body of water again. The absurdity of this shot is probably my favorite of them all, because this looks more appropriate for a forest background, or at least a desert, or anywhere except an urban center. But here we are, having Ash just stripped down, trying to dry clothes in the middle of a street. It's just funny. And I also guess the change in width means there are different pairs of underwear, so definitely he changed his underwear this season. X and Y. Image not found. Okay, well, maybe. In the Volcanion movie, Ash is setting up a clothesline, and we do see a pair of boxers, which are probably Ash's because the pattern is at least consistent, and no, they're not Clement's. So basically in this movie, Ash is bound to Volcanion via magnetic band, and Volcanion doesn't like him, so he looks unkempt, meaning that he goes through a lot of wardrobe shifts, including one that is an impact suit designed to prevent him from being in pain. Yeah, it's not waterproof, it explodes, and this is what he wears underneath. Considering he wears them underneath his impact suit and wears them to sleep, I'm going to say Ash sleeps in his underwear. Also, he either owns a lot of these or he doesn't change his underwear. You make the call. Okay, so moving on to Sun and Moon, we're actually treated to two scenes. After spending a day on the beach, he lets his clothes dry. He's alone on this private or secret island. Okay, so flash forward to episode 32. So, this is a rather simple setup. Ash daydreams while lying on the floor, and a Stoutland pulls down his pants. Well, guess he finally wore the underwear we were introduced to all the way back in episode 1. Pokemon Journeys. We're back to nothing. So, what was the point of this video? I really don't know. I thought this would be funny, but it turns out this just ended up as a list video. Okay, if you liked this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and tipping me on Ko-fi. Have a nice day or night.